Artistic Gamer 7, and welcome back to another video on the channel. This one is actually a Sims 4 collab with NicoleSimSocial. I'm really excited to get a chance to collab with her. I actually just put out a random tweet at one point and mentioned like a few people that I'd really like to get a chance to collab with. I wasn't necessarily expecting anyone to actually reply, but I did get 2 or 3 replies saying that they would, and it made me super excited, and Nicole was one of them. I think she does some amazing builds, and she usually takes references from a lot of things that I actually like. I love her Create a Pet series with Pokemon, but if you know me by this point, you know I like Pokemon. So, yeah. Of course I like that series. But, anyway, she built the shell of this building. I did add wallpaper and flooring. Technically, the wallpaper I didn't change too much, but there was no flooring, so I did change the flooring. Hopefully that was okay. But the wallpaper I actually didn't change too much because we decided on a sort of tried to go for a style of Scandinavian. I am really bad at knowing like whether it's like the style of like the structural build of a home or the interior style. I'm really bad at telling the difference. I'm also really bad at telling the difference in between like clothing styles as well. Just usually for me, how I look at things like that, if I like it, I like it. I don't really have a style, and I don't really know what belongs to one style, and since I've never necessarily known to like just one style, I've never tried learning just one style, so yeah, it was, I looked up, basically, I looked up on Google, like, Scandinavian style interior, and for most of the part of what the pictures I was seeing, with basically almost anywhere in the house, the main color was white. White was a big overall theme of the whole entire like interior build of it, with hints of grays, blacks, and like wood tones. So that's what direction I went with this. Hopefully that's actually right. Feel free to let me know if it necessarily isn't in the comments below, because I am trying to get better at knowing these different interior and exterior styles and all that sort of stuff. So just let me know in the comments below, but this was definitely a little bit of a smaller build than I'm used to dealing with. If you know me, I tend to end up making my builds too big. So I definitely thought this was a challenge, and I really liked the outside of the build and what she did. When we first started talking about it, it was funny because she was like talking about how she didn't think she was going to get to it to the weekend when we were talking about it. She's like, you know what, actually I have some free time now. And then with like in less, I don't even know if it was a full hour. It was like maybe an hour, maybe just a little over. It wasn't very much time at all. Maybe it was a little bit more than an hour, but it still wasn't that long. And for someone like me, I spend forever on builds, and she normally does too, but she's like, I'm done already. And she's like, surprisingly, that was really fast. So she got done with it really quick. I feel bad that I didn't get to it as quickly as she did, because it ended up being my birthday weekend and like a few other things popped up. But I got to it as soon as I could, and I really liked the layout of this build and the way it looked, and it challenged me in multiple ways, like the styling, the setup, and all that stuff. So I always love a good challenge and things like that. So I hope y'all really enjoy how the build turned out. I really like how it turned out. I think, I don't know if it necessarily actually fits the whole Scandinavian style, but either way, I do really like how it turned out. And if I had like a starting sim, I could see a sim of mine actually living in this, and it doesn't have CC. So there's also that. If you want to download her version of the build where it's just the shell and some of the exterior things, I didn't do much on the exterior because she did sort of do a few things here and there, and so I didn't want to do a whole lot on the exterior, but I did do, like, I added, like, objects to the exterior, basically. But if you want to get her version is up on the gallery. I will have all of her information down below. It's NicoleSimSocial, so I have her Twitter and her YouTube and her Origin gallery ID, so that you can go and check those out. I will add my version of it as well with the furnished objects in it. So, and there is no CC, but both of us have all the packs, so we didn't necessarily limit ourselves. I noticed when I downloaded it from the gallery from her, she only had about 5 or 6 packs that she actually used in this build. So with her version, there's not as many packs in it, so it's probably more accessible to more people. With my version, I probably used something from almost every pack because I think that I limit myself, or I think that I'm not using certain packs that much. And then when I upload it to the gallery, it's like this long list of all the packs, and I'm like, oh. I will say I do try to refrain from using my first pet stuff because I know a lot of people didn't get that and a lot of people don't have it or they just don't use it as much just because of the whole thing with behind that pack and stuff like that. I actually don't. The pack itself, not how it came about and all that stuff. I don't mind the pack that much as an individual thing, but the way it came about and the way it worked and stuff like that, there was some things that was a little eh. So I try to remember not to use stuff from that pack as much. So I'm pretty sure that's one of the packs I can almost guarantee you. I started to almost use something in the little kids room because I always want to use the little thing that you can put on the wall where it's like measuring how high they're growing, like how their height is growing and stuff as they're getting older. So I almost used it, but I'm pretty sure I did not use it, so pretty sure there's nothing from there. But all the other packs, except for maybe vampires, because I don't think a lot of the vampire stuff fit the style that I was thinking for this. So I don't think vampires is in there either. So anyway, but it'll be on the gallery. My information will be down in the description below, but definitely go check out Nicole. She's amazing. If you haven't come across her channel before, you definitely should go and check her out. I had a lot of fun doing this collab. This video is a lot shorter than what I'm used to with like builds and things like that. Granted, I didn't build it, I'm only decorating it, but I still tend to decorate for really long periods of time sometimes. But because this was such a smaller build compared to what I usually do, it didn't take me as much time to do it, but I actually still really like how it turned out. Though I did use, like, white is one of the colors that, like, I do use quite a bit, but I don't use it as, like, the main color. So it's definitely something different, but I do like it. Like, it looks nice that way. So, but also it'd be a house that I'd be terrified to drink anything like Kool-Aid or any stuff like that. I would be like, we're gonna stain something. Granted, I have a carpet that is, like, almost white, but it has like a stain resistance or whatever aspect to it. And I thought that because it was actually pretty cheap compared to a lot of the other carpet, that yeah, maybe it did have some stain resistance, but it wasn't going to be like really good stain resistance just because of how cheap it was compared to a lot of the other carpets that we was looking at that had that option. But it actually really is. So, maybe this whole entire house with its furniture and things like that has that stain resistant stuff going on. But and I do like the use of woods and little hints here and there with that stuff. It actually, like, I think it really works. Like, I actually sort of am like, if this is actual Scandinavian style, I'm liking it. So I might try to do it more often, but who knows? I tend to say these things and then totally forget that was my plan. Or something I wanted to try to do, and then just completely forget about ever doing it. But I did try to use, like, a lot of, like, wood objects for decorations and things like that. Not necessarily brown colors. I wanted it to actually look like it had some sort of wood texturing to it, or had some sort of reference back to wood and trees and things like that. So I did try to incorporate those as much, because to me, from what I can see when I searched it up, like I was saying, the wood tones, the grays, and the blacks with the whites was what I was seeing the most, and it actually looks super nice. Also, I want to know why those rugs that I just had in this hallway here, why the smaller rug doesn't have all the same color options as the long rug. Because I was going to try to make it look like one long run, because I didn't want to size it up because it gets thicker as well. I just wanted it to stay the same width, but longer. So I was going to use the small rug and attach onto it, but you can't do that because it doesn't have all the same color options, I found out, which I didn't know it was a thing. And those paintings that I use, you may have seen me use them a lot recently, and that's because honestly before, what build was it that I first found them on? I think it was Vaporeon's dream house that I first found them on. I didn't know they existed, and I actually really liked the size of them and the colors of them, and the way they scale down and scale up. I really, really like them, so I started using them a lot. So, but yeah. So yeah. The toddler's room, I start out, well, there is no actual Sims that we was comparing this to, but just so this was a very small room, I decided to go with, of course it's going to be like a kid's room. Well, it's not a very small room, but it's a pretty small room. A kid's room, and I feel like if your kid was in this when you're a teenager, they'll probably would be able to live here, and if they had to, they would. I feel like once you start getting like a child up into teen years, that you may start trying to expand onto your house or maybe move somewhere else. But as a toddler and a child and a baby, it'd be fine. So I went with more of a toddler because I just decided that I wanted to decorate a room for a toddler. So that's what I went with for this room, was like a toddler's room. But I do move the bed later on because as I'm doing the parent bedroom or the master bedroom or parents, depending on whether it's one parent or two parents, there's many family situations. So just, the main bedroom. I realized I didn't put a dresser or like a thing to put the toddler's clothes in. So I do go back and move things around later. I do add more colors into the bedrooms than I do like the downstairs with the kitchen and the living room and dining room area. So there's a few more colors added on here, but the bedrooms are going to get a little bit more personal and maybe add a few more colors than what your guest would see down in the downstairs, which I like that downstairs way. I think I set it up pretty well. I also forgot to do the bathroom at first, but you do see me do the bathroom in the video. It's not that I just completely forgot about the bathrooms. I actually do the bathrooms, but I do them after I do everything else, basically. Also, this house doesn't have a computer, and I was like, wait, maybe I should try to make room for a computer, and then I decided, nah, maybe these people don't want to be as in touch with technology. So I was like, meh, never mind, we're not going to worry about adding a computer in. So, yeah, I didn't worry about it after I realized that I didn't have it in there. I think what I'll do is I will let music play for the rest of it, but I hope you enjoyed the build and how it turned out. Nicole's version and my version will both be up on the gallery. Like I said, her version won't have as many packs required for it. Packs aren't necessarily required, it's just the objects will go missing if you don't have them. So, both will be up there. Definitely go check out all of her stuff. It will be down in the description below. I'll remember to put it should be right below, like, the main description before I start adding the game info and my stuff. So it will definitely be down there somewhere, so definitely go check her out. And all of my social medias and Sims 4 playlists will also be down there below. If you would like to ever collab with me, definitely go and message me over on Twitter. I don't get a lot of collab requests, and I do the big giant collab, but I'll definitely love collabing with people, and I definitely would like to do more of it. I can't promise that I can do it all the time, just depending on what's going on in my life, but definitely message me and see if I'm able to, and I definitely will let you know. But I'm going to let some music play. There's about 6 or so minutes left, so it's not going to be a long music wait. There is screenshots at the end so that you can sort of see the build, not crazily moving all over the place. But thank you so much for watching. Please like the video, share, comment, subscribe, all that lovely good YouTube stuff, because, yeah. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!